They say the jungle watches, that every rustle in the leaves isn't just the wind, especially in places like Jim Corbett, a place of breathtaking beauty and ancient secrets. We went there looking for tigers. What we found was something else entirely, something that followed us, something that knew we were there. And tonight, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, because some things, once seen, can never be unseen. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're doing something a little different. No urban legends, no abandoned places. This is a story from my own life, something that happened a few years ago on what was supposed to be a dream trip. A wildlife safari in Jim Corbett National Park. And believe me, this dream turned into an absolute nightmare. For those who don't know, Jim Corbett National Park is one of India's oldest and most famous wildlife sanctuaries. Named after the legendary hunter-turned-conservationist, it's renowned for its incredible biodiversity, especially its population of Bengal tigers. It's a place of immense natural beauty, dense forests, riverine belts, grasslands, a paradise for wildlife enthusiasts. My friends Rohan, Priya and we'd planned this trip for months. We were excited, buzzing with the idea of spotting a tiger, maybe an elephant, or even a rare leopard. We booked our safari jeeps, our guides. We thought we were prepared for anything the jungle could throw at us. We were wrong. We were so wrong. Our first day started like any other safari. Early morning, crisp air, the sounds of the jungle waking up. It was magical. We saw deer, wild boars, a variety of birds. Our guide, an older man named Dev, was incredibly knowledgeable, but even then there were little things. Like, at one point Dev abruptly stopped the jeep. He killed the engine. The silence was deafening. He was just listening, his eyes scanning the tree line. When we asked what was wrong, he just shook his head, a strange look on his face. "The jungle is awake today," he murmured, but not in a good way. We brushed it off as local superstition. Big mistake. Later that afternoon, as the sun began to set, casting long, eerie shadows, we were driving through a particularly dense part of the forest. And that's when we heard it. Not the roar of a tiger, not the trumpeting of an elephant. It was a high-pitched whine, almost like a distressed animal, but with an unnerving, almost human quality. It came from deep within the trees. Dev looked visibly shaken. He sped up. He never explained what it was, but the sound, it clung to us. The second day felt different. The air was heavy. The usual morning chatter of birds seemed subdued. We felt a strange reluctance to enter the forest, but we pushed it aside. We were on an adventure, right? Dev took us down an old, rarely used track. He said there was a water hole that sometimes attracted big cats. Instead, we found this, an old abandoned forest outpost. It looked like it had been deserted for years, swallowed by the jungle. But what struck us was the condition. It wasn't just old, it felt wrong. The door was ajar, swinging slightly in a non-existent breeze. And carved into the wooden doorpost was a symbol, something crude, almost like a stick figure, but with too many limbs or limbs in the wrong places. Priya, who's really into local folklore, recognized it. She said it was an old tribal warding symbol, used to keep things out, or perhaps to mark where something was trapped. Dev didn't say a word. He just stared at the symbol, his face a mask of worry. Then he quickly drove us away from there without even a glance at the waterhole he'd promised. The atmosphere in the jeep was thick with unspoken fear. That evening, as darkness fell unusually fast, we were making our way back to our lodge. The air was thick with mist, a chilling fog that seemed to swallow the light from our headlights. The road was barely visible. That's when it started. We heard footsteps, heavy, deliberate footsteps, keeping pace with the jeep, from the side of the road, just out of the beam of our headlights. It wasn't an animal's gait, it was too regular, too human, but heavier. And the jungle was silent around it. No crickets, no night birds, just those steps. Thump, thump, thump. Dev floored it. The jeep bounced and skidded.
We were all yelling, "What is it? What's out there?" Dev just kept repeating, "Don't look back! Don't look back!"
But Rohan in the back seat couldn't help himself. He glanced over his shoulder and he screamed. It wasn't a human, he gasped later. It wasn't an animal, it was tall, too tall, and it was covered in something. He couldn't describe it, he just kept saying, its eyes, they glowed, and it was smiling. We finally burst into the lodge, gasping for air, shaking. The other guests looked at us strangely. Dev immediately pulled one of the older lodge staff members aside, speaking in hushed, urgent tones in Hindi. We only caught snippets. The forest, it stirs, the ancient ones. That night, none of us slept. We barricaded our doors. Every shadow seemed to move. Every creak of the old lodge sounded like those footsteps. And the whining sound, the one we'd heard in the jungle, it came closer. We swore we heard it right outside our window, just before dawn. It was a mournful, hungry sound. The next morning Dev found us looking like ghosts. He pulled us aside, his face grim. He explained in broken English about the Rakshas, forest spirits, ancient beings that sometimes awoke when the balance of nature was disturbed. He said what we saw was one of them.
It marked you, he said. It followed you from the old post. He told us to leave immediately. Not just the park, but the entire region. They don't like outsiders, he warned. And once they know you're there, they remember.
We didn't need to be told twice. We packed our bags, barely spoke a word to anyone, and were on the first bus out of there. We haven't been back, and honestly I don't think I ever will. People have tried to explain it away, an overactive imagination, sleep deprivation, a rare animal we couldn't identify. But the shared experience, the terror, Dev's reaction, and that thing Rohan saw, none of it makes sense any other way. So, was it an animal, a hallucination, or did we, three innocent tourists, stumble upon something ancient, something malevolent, hidden deep within the beautiful, deceptive wilderness of Jim Corbett? I still don't know, but I know this: the jungle has eyes. And sometimes, those eyes watch you back. Have any of you guys had similar unsettling experiences in national parks or remote areas? Let me know in the comments below. Like this video if you want more personal horror stories, subscribe for more terrifying content, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, stay safe out there, because some places aren't just wild, they're hungry.